Hi everyone, this is IntuitiveEdge. Welcome once again to my channel. Thanks for joining me. So I want to take a look today, intuitively, at what happened with the Supreme Court. Now it was leaked last night and it's been hitting the news that the United States Supreme Court is getting set to basically overturn Roe versus Wade. And somebody within the court leaked that out. And what's so particularly upsetting, so that many people are upset about, is that the court in the past has been completely like bedrock when it comes to leaks. There are no leaks to speak of. Those never get out. So to have this happen almost seems like it's a desperate attempt to intimidate the court into making adjustments or changing their decision. But I'm curious to know who or what, or how about the backstory? Who leaked this and why? Will they be found out and held accountable? What's going to happen with this? So I'm going to shuffle up and take a look intuitively, and I'll be right back and we'll get started. Okay, for today's question, I wrote out 10 specific questions and pulled cards on each question. Okay, so the first question is, was the leak accidental or intentional? So I get this card, the 10 of Pentacles. Now, to me, it's a positive card, a forthright card, and to me it speaks about values and things we value. And the energy of this card is pointing right into the next card, and I'll get into that in a moment. But with this positive, generally positive card, I'm thinking it probably was an intentional act just because of the nature of this card itself. What is the motive behind this leak? We have the Death card. Now, the Death card is about transformational change, wanting to shift something. When you think about the transformational change and the motive, I think the motive is to intimidate and to get the court to change, fundamentally change their position, and to reverse this. This is a really strong card. And this card of motive of that Death card, that's a really strong motive. So however this happened, whoever's behind it, this to me speaks of a desperate act. Somebody who really wanted to see this situation be different. Okay, taking matters into their own hands is what I see here. So who is responsible for this leak? Now, it's interesting because I'm getting the Five of Pentacles. This is a card of risk and caution. Seeing that card of risk and caution tells me that whoever did this took great risk to themselves to do this. I'm getting the sense of a plant or some kind of monitoring system of surveillance, or something that allows the overhearing of conversations, or the overhearing of the deliberations. And most of the time, I think those things are left alone. I'm just sensing some type of surveillance that, and this is, to me, feels like a great risk to leak this out, because that system of surveillance is about to be exposed. But it was almost like this was worth it. The feeling was it was worth it to disrupt this trajectory. And now I feel like there's some type of scrambling to conceal the source of that leak, which was a technology of some kind, an interception technology. And now the focus is like trying to cover that up. Okay, I'm going to move on. What is the immediate future? Well, I've got the King of Cups on that. The card of offerings, making an offer, making a deal. And I do sense with that King that energy of moving forward with a proposed idea or an ideal. I do think that there's going to be some type of backlash, but also a pulling back and a regrouping, but also not going to be intimidated kind of feeling with that King energy. So I don't think that this leak ultimately, we'll have to see what the rest of the cards say, but I don't think ultimately it's going to change the trajectory of this outcome. The next card out, number 5, is what led up to this. Now we have this card of indecision, things being out of balance, an undecided issue, an undecided matter. This card also strikes me as a little bit of a meddling influence there. Trying to balance things, juggle things, but also doing this little tap dance, trying to get things changed along, kind of hearkening back to that Death card. This feels like a meddling influence. Seeing the trajectory of where something's headed and trying to stop it or intervene. That's the sense I get. Okay, will anyone be penalized or punished for this leak? Well, there's an interesting card. Aces are very powerful. When they're upright, usually means yes when you ask a yes or no question. So I think somebody or some buddies will be eventually caught, and perhaps there may be some justice on this. Forgive the pun. All right. Will the person or persons responsible for this leak be brought to justice? We have the Hanged Man. So I did get a yes on will anyone be penalized or punished. Will someone be brought to justice? We've got the Hanged Man. That's really interesting. It's a card of self-sacrifice. I'm getting a sense or a picture. I'm wondering if this is going to be found out. Like I think there's going to be a fall guy. Like the original mastermind behind this probably won't be brought to justice, but the person who actually did the deed, however that gets found out, is going to probably face some type of justice. But there's a layer to this that's hidden, and this was orchestrated higher up, but they're going to let the little person that gets caught take the fall for it. That's what I'm sensing with that. Okay. Number 8, how will the public respond to this leak? And we've got this kind of delicate matter, caution, having to kind of tiptoe and be a little careful on how you respond or react. I'm wondering, I'm kind of seeing like the way this person, check this out, bear with me here. This person here is taking these swords and kind of tiptoeing out like I'm sneaking off with this stuff. I've got my arms full of stuff and I'm feeding it out. I wonder if there is going to be some looting and some mayhem. Just the way that person's holding their armload of stuff and getting out, like it reminds me of the looting that we've been seeing happening. Sometimes these things are opportune for people who want an excuse to burn, loot, murder, mayhem. Burn, loot, and mayhem. There you go. Anyway, next, number 9. Will there be any rioting or looting as a result? That's how the public will respond, is this, with the looting. And the next question is, will there be any rioting or looting as a result? Now, that's interesting. I've got this 5 of Cups, and it's kind of a sad card. It's a card of endings, things sad, a sadness. And this card here, the way the cards are laid out, this person kind of looking over their shoulder, he's looking right back into this sad card. And so I think those two energies talk to each other in this spread. So I think the public, there will be some looting, possibly down the road, maybe as a result of this. There may be some opportunists that choose to do that. Final outcome regarding who leaked these court documents. Well, there's a messenger on this. We have the Knight of Wands. This knight is about taking action. And I sense a lot. I just sense some forward movement back into the sad card and back into the 7 card. So I think this could descend into a little bit of chaos. Especially as this unfolds, it could really magnify some issues. And I'm not sure if this is right away or as a result, kind of as this progresses, and maybe as someone's held accountable, or at least the fall guy or girl. Could be a female. I'm wondering which justice's office was responsible. I'm kind of feeling. I'm wondering if that's how this is. If it came down to a certain justice's office, or if it was the court as a whole being bugged. That actually feels more right. So underneath this is the Queen of Swords. She gets to the bottom of things, and nothing scoots by her. She's very discerning, very wise. So I do think that this issue is going to have some type of resolution in the form of getting to the bottom of things and what really took place here. So yeah, that's really quite remarkable. So hang on to your hats. All right, I'm going to pause the video and come back and talk about a little something else that's related to this. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I ran across a video a while back of a man named Kenneth Leth, L-E-T-H. Some of you may have heard of him, maybe you haven't. Maybe you saw his videos, maybe you haven't. He's, I don't know how old he is now. He's maybe in his 60s. But he had a vision when he was 8 years old. It was actually a near-death experience. And during that time, he was taken up probably into heaven, something like that, and was shown the future. And some of the things that he saw have already panned out. But there was something that he said that was curious to me, and it hasn't quite happened yet. But he said that he thinks that it will, because so much of what he was shown has come to pass. But he saw way down in the future, he saw that there would be a time when the courts would make a decision or overturn something that would send the United States into a downward spiral. Like things would just fall apart after that. And in his own mind, in trying to interpret it, as I was watching this interview he was having with a person who was talking to him, he was speculating that he felt that this issue was the gay marriage issue that came before the Supreme Court a few years ago. That was the issue because it kind of united people on the right, to become upset, and he felt that that was what he was being shown. During that interview, I thought, oh, no. I think that, assuming his vision is correct, and I have no reason to doubt that, it would be more revealing and make more sense if the people who react after a Supreme Court decision getting overturned, it would make more sense if it was Roe v. Wade. And it wouldn't be the people on the right reacting and getting upset. It would be the people on the left reacting and getting upset. Now, we've already seen what they're capable of when we had the George Floyd and some of the other things that have happened in the past, that it doesn't take much to spark those fires and get the left upset. Now, this man, this Kenneth Leth, is a little bit on the left. Well, he's self-admitted Democrat on the left, so he may not see that. We tend not to want to see our own biases, our own blind spots. But I don't think this is going to be the right that if the Supreme Court did overturn Roe v. Wade, which would simply mean, for all of you out there panicking by those words, would simply mean that those decisions go back to the states. It doesn't mean that abortion is banned, and it just means the states can decide that matter individually. So blue states probably will keep it legal. Red states may not. So that's what that means. But some all or nothing types freak out and they think, oh my God, they're banning abortion. Women everywhere will never be able to, Anyway, I digress. But it makes much more sense to me that if the Supreme Court did in fact ban or send this back to the states, that the left would go absolutely bonkers and probably burn more than just a few cities. They'd do a lot of damage because a lot of them don't know how to have a civil discussion or a conversation. It's like if they don't get their way, they throw a tantrum. And that's what we saw, and that's what we'll probably see again. Okay. So I see a temper tantrum brewing with this. So as far as the leak, I do think the low-hanging fruit will get lopped off. And we may see some results with that. But I do think it's somebody else behind it. And I do think this is going to cause some future issues or problems. So that's what I see with this. Thanks for joining me today. If you liked it, please leave a like. And that's all I'll say about that. All right. That's it for today. Thanks, everyone. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.